welcome and thank you for your time. This is the second sort of training session that I'm doing. I believe this is the fifth training session in a sequence of training sessions. In the previous one, we spoke about finding opportunities. How do you find opportunities? In fact, Feruza and others had great suggestions on how we could find opportunities specific to Uzbekistan higher education institution. We spoke about whether it is inbound, meaning the work can happen within Uzbekistan, or is it an outbound opportunity, meaning the work can happen globally. And there were both opportunities that we discussed. And we largely found out there were three types of websites which could probably be considered, and I'm summarizing here. Option one was aggregator websites. These are opportunities where a website sort of pulls in information from varying other different sources and brings them to one place. For example, we shared an opportunity website called OpenOps, which publishes open opportunities for every country and different industries. Then we spoke about the second website, and those were the government websites, for example, Interior Ministry, Ministry of Commerce, and I think there were good examples shared for Uzbekistan specific websites by our participants. And I remember Shaknoza even sharing screen and showing that one of the websites. And the third were the banks, and these were, the Asian Development Bank or other banks which have a regular UNDP, for example, have opportunities. They keep publishing opportunities, and then you decide whether you want to participate in that or not. So in summary, we looked at how to find opportunities, and now we move to the next step, and that next step is how to evaluate those opportunities that we have found. This is the topic of this training session, but before we go there, let me ask our lovely participants. I gave a homework last time before we broke the session. That was to find an opportunity from one of these websites that work for you and for Uzbekistan, and if possible, bring that opportunity as an example to this session so that we can use whatever we learn in this session as an example for that opportunity. I am seriously hoping that someone of us can share an example. Essentially, what I was hoping to do was, use anything that we discuss in this 1 hour that we have together on that opportunity. But anyways, doesn't matter. We will use a hypothetical example. So moving on, let me share my screen and tell you what I want to talk about here. So can you see this? We are basically exploring this topic, how to evaluate opportunities for Uzbek higher education institutions. I believe this image captures the life cycle of a typical opportunity. If you see, each stage on screen is actually a detailed topic. And in the last training, for example, we did the identifying opportunities topic. And now I would like to share about, evaluating opportunities. Now, I've deliberately shown this as a cycle because it is indeed a very continuous process. What I want you to always remember is that start by winning small grants, and that small grants will demonstrate that you have a proven track record. Now, when you do that, this feeds into opportunities for the next one, and you build a network in the next opportunity. So it's not that you will get the first opportunity that you come across. it's a slow process. You have to first get something small and then use that track record and get something else, then use that track record and get something bigger. And that is how you build momentum. This is very important. Now, so let me ask all of you, let's evaluate this question. Assume you have identified opportunities related to entrepreneurial university activities. You have an opportunity, assume you have it in your hand. What do you do next? I want you to think about and tell me, what do you do next? Shaknoza, Umida, Sayora, Feruza, anyone. I'm very, very keen to hear from you. Once you have an opportunity, what do you do next?
Sayora, siz uchun tarjima qilib beraman. Imkoniyat paydo bo'lgandan keyin keyingi qadamlaringiz nima bo'ladi? Nima harakat qilasiz?
When we had sessions with Viren, he suggested us to prepare a benefit map so that we can show for the funding organization our capabilities. So I think we should develop that one.
Yeah, I was waiting for this. Thank you, Feruza. That's a very helpful answer. Yes, it is a benefit map. Essentially what Viren was talking about and what I want you to think is that I think the first thing to do is probably market research. By market research, what I mean is to thoroughly understand what you're getting into and determine if this project, this opportunity is the right opportunity for you. Now, how will you do that? You will, in the process of market research, you will come across trends. You will understand what the customer or the funding agency, what are the other projects that they have funded. You will know what sort of competition exists. So essentially, market research is your first step in understanding this opportunity and understanding how it fits in with you. Do you agree, Feruza? Shaknoza?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, lovely. I feel that this is important because many a times we want to directly get into the opportunity without realizing if we have the unique skill sets or the differentiation from the competition to really make an impact on that opportunity. Get the odds in your favor to win that opportunity. So a key step in evaluating that opportunity is basically the first question that you need to ask yourself. And that question is whether you should go for that opportunity or not go for that opportunity. Let me just move on. And I want you to put in chat, now that we've just spoken about the topic for a brief while, what factors will you consider before deciding to go for that opportunity or not go for that opportunity? What are the other factors that you think you will consider? So let me ask you this question. What factors will you consider before deciding? When I say bid, what I mean is apply for that opportunity. What factors would you consider? Please think for a second and put your answers in chat. You can talk as well, no problem. And I will then share with you my personal key question that I ask myself. What factors could it be? Let's explore. Do you think of anything that is track record a factor? Is competition a factor? Is nationality or geography a factor? Is the budget of the project a factor? Is the time scale within which it has to be delivered a factor? Someone has put something on chat. Let me see. Yes, Umida, thank you. Very good answer. We must assess our capabilities too. Yes. So what Umida is saying is it doesn't only depend on what the client wants. It also depends on what we can do. The client can want whatever they want, and that will not change. But we must also look within. I think if I have to use my personal experience on this topic, then I would say that, for me personally, there are many factors that decide whether we should go for an opportunity or not. For example, value of the project is an important filter. Is it worth the effort that you're going to put in getting this opportunity or executing this opportunity? The other bit is this opportunity an opportunity that I have a good chance winning? Now that comes back to what Umida was saying on what are my capabilities? What is my track record? And a very key component on this is, do I have the collaborations and partnerships that will help me win this? Because what Umida is said is that I may have some capability, but if there is a good opportunity, it clears all the other filters. And I feel that my capability will be enhanced by partnering with an organization, then I can go for it. I can apply for that opportunity as a consortium. I can apply for that opportunity as a partnership. So I can do one part of the project, and my partner institutions can do other part of the project. For example, we do this all the time. I feel the answer to this is, the context is always this, okay? Opportunities, you will not win every opportunity that you apply for. The ratios are very, very low. You will lose opportunities, and you will get opportunities in your kitty only those are very specific to your track record. And the second thing that you have to consider is, it's very, very time consuming. It's not that you will just participate in every opportunity. It will also be that you will spend a lot of time and maybe wasting time by participating in every opportunity. So the key answer to this, whether to bid or not, is always to look at it from this lens. And the key question that I always ask myself is, when did you hear about this opportunity? Now I will explain you what I mean. What I mean is, many a times the winning strategy is to partner. Just a second, let me see. Value investment title. This is interesting. Sorry. Say more, Shaknoza. What do you mean by value investment title?
And the second question is, which Nadira has written in the chat. That's why. What factors will you consider before deciding to bid or not? I think factors: value, investment, and the title of the.
Understood. You're saying title as in the area of the opportunity.
Yes, in the area of the study, maybe, or funding.
Okay. And what do you mean by investment? Do you mean who is funding?
Yes.
Okay. You mean, so what you mean to say is,
maybe World Bank organization, maybe European Bank or Asian Bank or others.
Understood. So what you're saying is, is it of enough threshold that it interests me? And it can be both thresholds, by the way. Threshold doesn't even have to be just a baseline. It could be a top line as well, that I cannot get a project worth 100 million, for example. I cannot get it. So it can be a threshold on both sides. So value is one factor. I agree with you fully. Investment, meaning who is funding the project, is also a very important point. And that is what I was about to say when I saw your chat, and I will talk about it in just 1 minute. And the third topic is the area. And obviously, we spoke about this area in the last training when I mentioned keywords. When I said, look and decide your keywords so that you can keep getting these opportunities on your table, and then you keep deciding whether to apply or not. Now, these keywords are basically the areas that you want to participate. So I agree with all three things that Shaknoza said. So what I was saying before I took Shaknoza's point was basically this key question: when did you hear about this opportunity? What I mean is, you have to, many a times we have to work with the client before the opportunity is published. And if you are in a position to be in a situation where you can work with the client before the opportunity is published, then you have a fantastic chance of winning this opportunity. Because many a times client raises a bid or creates competition because they have already identified who is going to get the opportunity, and they are just asking you to be the second or the third or the fourth player. They have decided who is going to get it, and you are just the alternative as a competition, open market competition scenario. So it works if you can work with the client, and in that case, if you can, then that way you are shaping the opportunity. You are creating that opportunity together with the client. And in that case, if that happens, then you are absolutely shaping that opportunity towards your strong points. So this is a key question that we need to answer. Now, I would like, since there are only 4 people, I would like a small breakout room. In this breakout room, please discuss 3 criteria each on what is important to you. How do you evaluate opportunities? Essentially, discuss with each other and agree that these are the 3 criteria through which you as individuals will evaluate an opportunity. For example, Shaknoza gave an example, I mean, maybe Feruza doesn't agree, and you can both debate within the breakout room and come back with a consolidated list. Similarly, I have not heard from Umida or Sayora. They can come back with their thoughts, and then we can meet again here in 8 minutes, and then we can discuss with both rooms what they decided. So I'm opening all rooms. If the question is clear, we can meet each other here in 8 minutes. Welcome back. So how did it go? I can see that Feruza has a little bit of a smile. So you want to share how it worked out, Sayora, Umida, Shaknoza? How did
Yes,
it
we
work out?
share and
Lovely.
come into consideration, which Feruza say yet.
Umida says participant eligibility. Wow, lovely. Second is grant subject. Okay. And third is expected budget. This is lovely. What about the other room? What about your room, Shiknoza? I believe this is Umida and Sayora who came up with these criteria. What about you?
Well, we have discussed it, and well, Shahnoza has already given a wonderful factors, but we thought that the first and foremost important thing is the amount of the funding, because as high it is, we would be motivated to apply for that funding opportunity. And the second one is who is what kind of organization is giving the funding, is providing the funding. And the third one, we just left what Shahnaza mentioned, it's an area, because we have to apply for the area in which we can perform a project. So that's
you mean you can deliver the outcomes that
yeah.
You deliver the outcomes that are expected. Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. So these are all great answers, and I fully agree with everything that you said. For example, what is the expected budget? Is it full or partial? Is it co-financing? Are we meeting the eligibility criteria? Is the country is it a country? Is it an NGO? Is it a commercial organization? And or is it a higher education institute? Even for example, Umida was saying, grant subject, like what is the topic? Now, I thought about this, and these are very easy, low-hanging fruits. And so I thought about the really strategic considerations that I deploy when I am evaluating opportunities, and I'm sharing this with you. And those three criteria are on your screen. And those three criteria are early positioning. I mentioned this earlier. I will explain what it means. It's critical to winning bids. It basically, this helps you understand and influence the client's underlying business need or issues, because it's the real requirement. It's understanding the people, the procurement process, competition, the risks for both parties, their budgets, and your own budget. It actually captures everything. When I say early positioning, what I mean is it's always good to not be a person, to not be I'm just viewing that opportunity online. You don't know the client, you don't know anything about the client, they don't know you. Then it's not something that will be helpful to you. By early positioning, what I mean is get yourself in a right position by understanding everything about yourself, about the client, about influencing their activities beforehand and very early on. Sometimes even before the opportunity is published. And I understand fully that you cannot do that on the first attempt. That's why you remember I was telling you that it's a cycle. You win one, and then maybe in the next opportunity for the same client, you can position yourself really early and talk to them even before the opportunity is published. So it's a continuous cycle. It's a track record. The second is our qualify is what I mean by some of the answers that you have given. And this captures everything. What I mean is, before spending time and money on an opportunity that you may not even win, ask these questions to yourselves. Why are we being asked? I mean, does the client believe that you can deliver, or are you just making up the numbers? Do you have a good opportunity to win, and why? Can you make money in this opportunity? Is there a threshold above which you need to consider this opportunity? Why do we win opportunities like this in the past? Do we have a track record of winning opportunities like this in the past? It's important because that could show that you are naturally good at it. Why do you lose opportunities like this? Not only about winning, but it's also about, not doing well in that particular area, like you keep saying, area or the topic of the opportunity. And do you have the time, money, and resources to execute this opportunity? There is one thing about bidding for it, and that is part of the evaluating process. And what happens if you win it? What then? Because if I can just show you my screen and show you the previous slide, that once you evaluate opportunity, then you bid for it, and then you submit it, and then you win it and execute it and show impacts and outcomes. So it's important that you not only consider that you're just bidding for it, but you also consider the future steps. And the last point that I want to say, and this is something that I'm most passionate about, is review and learn. Because if you always believe that, you do what you always did, then you will always get what you always got. What I mean is, regardless of the result, whether you win or you don't win, you must always ask the client and even ask yourself, introspect, what you did well and what you could have done better. And communicate this output to everyone who's involved in this opportunity. What I mean is sometimes it's not only about yourself, it's also about, giving this feedback to clients, to partners and collaborators on the project. Use them to improve your approach to future opportunities and apply the lessons that you learned to deliver this continuous improvement. Because I believe that, just think about evaluating future opportunities, but you always, in your mind, it should not be that you started from scratch. It's a continuous process. So to evaluate future opportunities, you can literally learn from past opportunities. What happened? How did you do? Did you win? Did you lose? Why did you win? Why did you lose? What can you do better? How can you improve your approach? This is in my mind a very important. These are the three criteria that I wanted to leave with you over and above what you've suggested. Any thoughts?
Yes, I have feedback regarding early positioning. Well, you have mentioned that we should be aware of the opportunities before they are publicly announced. So how are we going to be able to know that? Because,
Yeah.
it means we should be in a cycle of such kind of people who are in this field.
Maybe Kinon, yes, Kinon is them.
Yeah. No. What I mean is both.
Maybe have relationship.
Yes. What I mean, Shaknoza and Feruza, are that there are two different points here. One is it's a cycle, like you said. If you apply for an opportunity, you get it. And then the same client has another opportunity in the future. They will always come back and talk to you about a future opportunity. So I know it's difficult to have early positioning if you don't have a client. I understand. But what I'm trying to say here is that if you do have a client, then try and be in that space where you are shaping the opportunity. This is one. The other thing is also very key, that even in open markets, for example, it's not only about opportunities which are published. Many times, Feruza, and I have been involved in this, you have a market survey where the bidder or the funding agency actually floats an idea and takes inputs from higher education institutions that, okay, I am doing this, I am having a first seminar or a workshop on this date. Please express early interest, and then you can come there, discuss it, and then they take feedback from everyone who are participating in this opportunity, and then they decide the what can I say, RFP, the requisition for proposal. They decide basis on the engagement, early engagement. So it's not only about winning, it's about being active and being positioning your proposition early on with the customer. So Umida is asking a question: in early position, should we define our role? Yes, you should define your role, but before you can define your role, I think what I'm encouraging you to do is define the opportunity. And once you define the opportunity, you yourself then can take up the role to execute that opportunity. Should we define donors' expectations from us? Yes, that is absolutely, you should, so that very clearly you can tell that this is something I can do and this is something I can't do. So you should try and make it about those things that you are good at. So these are some of the key considerations that I encourage. And in my mind, the key takeaways are: always believe that someone wants to give you the money. There is always someone, and this is rule number one. And if this is true, then you should follow all the inputs from our discussion just now. You should know the funding agency well. Always keep the end objective in mind. What is the client looking for? What is the client asking? What do they want? And finally, to the point that Feruza mentioned, that if we don't even know the client, how do we do it? The point is, there will come an opportunity where you will know everything. You will have to just keep believing in yourself till that time, and start small, build momentum, get one small grant, deliver that, show a track record, use that track record in the other grant, execute that. In the process, build partnerships, build collaborations. Then you have now 2 track records. Show the track record and win a bigger project. This is how you keep winning, and this is how you keep moving. This is what I wanted to discuss, and these are the key takeaway points from myself. Now, I understand that this is the last, and obviously it's 9:15 back in Uzbekistan. I don't want to keep you too much away from your families. So I'm happy to take questions now, and then we can take it forward from there. Feruza, you unmuted yourself, so I'm hoping that you have a question.
No, I don't have a question.
Yeah, okay. Sayora, Umida, you can put your question in chat as well. Just a second, there's something in chat. Yes, thank you, Umida, as well. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that I am available, if you have guys, Feruza, Shiknoza, Sayora, Umida, if you have questions in the future, Nadira is there, I am there. Please don't hesitate in asking me any questions. I will be more than happy to answer the questions. Or if you want, we can get on a quick Zoom call to discuss a small point, or drop me an email. We can take it forward from there.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deepak.
Thank you, Deepak, very much.
It is my pleasure.
Yes, for your tips and advices. And also, Nadira, thank you for organization. Thank you for Virwin for organization such kind of presentations, tips, and suggestions. Thank you very much again. See you.
Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you very
it's my
much,
pleasure.
NIFAD.
Thank you, and take care, and see you soon.